In a quiet village, nestled between hills and wide open fields, there lived a 17-year-old girl named Tiara. She wasn't popular, not in the way others at school were. She didn't hang out at cafes after class or post endless selfies. Instead, she spent most of her time sitting under an old tree, writing poems in a weathered notebook that she never showed anyone. But Tiara had a secret, a magical one. She could hear and speak to the wind. Since she was a little girl, the wind had whispered to her, softly, gently, like an old friend. It told her when rain was coming, which flowers would bloom early, and sometimes even the quiet emotions that people tried to hide. But no one believed in things like that anymore. And because Tiara was different, she was often the subject of jokes. There she goes, talking to herself again. Maybe the wind's her only follower. And Galang, the boldest boy in school, charming and loud, loved to tease. Careful, Tiara, the wind might just carry you away. Tiara never argued. She only smiled, thinking, sometimes the ones who talk the most are the ones who hear the least. One morning, everything changed. The school bell rang, but made no sound. Teachers moved their lips, but no words came out. Laughter, footsteps, even birdsong were all gone. Students panicked. Teachers looked confused. Even Galang stood frozen, his usual jokes silenced, not by choice, but by force. But Tiara understood what it meant. The wind was gone. Not just quiet, gone. That night, someone knocked on Tiara's door. It was Miss Ratna, her literature teacher. Her voice was soft but steady. "I know your secret," she said gently. "You can hear them, the wind spirits." Tiara's eyes widened. "You must speak to the east wind," Miss Ratna continued. "He is the eldest of them all. He's taken the world's voice. He's angry, and only someone who truly listens can calm him." At midnight, Tiara climbed the tallest hill. The night air was heavy. No breeze, no rustling leaves. She opened her notebook and whispered a chant she remembered from the wind's lullabies. "Wanderer of skies, I call your name. Return to us, gentle flame." A soft blue light swirled around her. Then, slowly, the air gathered into a great shape, shimmering, ancient, powerful. "Who dares summon me?" it boomed, though Tiara felt the words more in her chest than in her ears. "I'm Tiara," she said, her voice calm. "Please, give our voices back." "Why should I?" the east wind roared. "Humans shout without meaning, argue without listening, and destroy the quiet places I once called home. They do not deserve to be heard." Tiara held up her notebook. "I wrote these," she said. "Poems, thoughts, everything you whispered to me. I listened, always." The east wind paused. For a long moment there was only stillness. "You are different," it finally said. "But what of the others?" Tiara looked up. "Let me teach them," she said softly. "Let me remind them how to listen." The next morning, sound returned. Bells, voices, birdsong, all came back. But something was different. Students spoke softer. Teachers paused more. It was as if the silence had taught them something deeper than noise ever could. Even Galang approached Tiara, awkward and unsure. I heard what you did," he mumbled. "I'm sorry for making fun of you." Tiara smiled gently. "It's okay," she said. "Maybe you just needed silence to finally hear." From that day on, Tiara was no longer the weird girl. She became known as the girl who spoke to the wind. She didn't need to raise her voice to be heard. Her quiet strength came from understanding, from stillness, from listening. Moral of the story: in a world full of noise, true wisdom lies in silence. Listening is a gift far greater than speaking. Tiara's story reminds us even the quietest voice can bring the loudest change. We rush to speak, but forget to listen. To nature, to others, to ourselves. And when we finally choose to listen, the world responds not with thunder, but with peace.